My husband asks me every day to lose weight, and I don't know what to do. It started innocently enough, or at least, I thought it did. It was a Saturday morning, and we were at our favorite brunch spot, a cozy little cafe with amazing pancakes. I was about to take a bite of my usual stack, loaded with whipped cream and strawberries, when Ian, my husband, gave me a look over his coffee cup. "Do you think," he began, his voice casual, "that maybe you could try the yogurt and granola today?" I blinked at him, fork poised over my plate. "Why? You know I love the pancakes here." He smiled, but there was something in his eyes that made me pause. "I know, but... well, it's just, yogurt's a little healthier, don't you think?" I let out a small laugh, dismissing the strange tone in his voice. "Ian, it's the weekend. I'm treating myself." He shrugged, not pushing the point, but as I dug into my pancakes, I couldn't shake the way he looked at me. Over the next few weeks, it became a pattern. Ian would suggest I take the stairs instead of the elevator, ask if I'd considered cutting carbs, or casually mention that he'd heard about a new workout routine that sounded really fun. At first, I thought he was just concerned about my health, but slowly, his comments began to feel like tiny barbs, pricking my confidence. One night, as we were getting ready for bed, he brought it up again. "I was reading this article today about how sugar affects your metabolism," he said, almost conversationally. "Huh," I replied, brushing my teeth, only half listening. "It said that cutting out sugar completely can really help with weight loss." I turned to look at him, meeting his eyes in the mirror. Are you saying I should cut out sugar?" He hesitated, scratching the back of his neck. I think it might be good for you, you know. You'd probably feel amazing." I rinsed my mouth, taking a deep breath. "Ian, why do you keep bringing this up?" He sighed, glancing away. "I just want you to be your best self, that's all." "My best self?" I repeated, hurt creeping into my voice. "You mean a thinner self?" He winced, realizing he'd touched a nerve. No, it's not like that. It's just... I mean, we could both be healthier." I stared at him, feeling the weight of his words settle over me. "Ian, I'm happy with the way I look. Aren't you?" He didn't answer right away, and that silence was all I needed to hear. The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror, examining myself with a critical eye. I saw curves that I'd always thought of as feminine, hips and thighs that were fuller than what you might see on a magazine cover, but they were my curves. I'd always felt comfortable in my body, or at least, I had until Ian's comments started creeping in. "Are you okay?" Ian's voice cut through my thoughts as he came up behind me, wrapping his arms around my waist. "Yeah, I'm fine," I said, pulling away gently. "Just thinking." "Thinking about what?" he asked, his tone light, but there was a tension underneath it. I turned to face him, my heart pounding. "Ian, do you think I'm unattractive?" He looked shocked. "What? No, of course not." "Then why do you keep telling me to lose weight?" I pressed. "Every day, it's something new. A diet tip, a workout, some article you read. It's starting to feel like you're not happy with me." He ran a hand through his hair, looking flustered. "That's not it, Mia. I just want us to be the best versions of ourselves. I want you to be healthy." "I am healthy," I snapped, my voice rising. "I go for walks, I eat well, I feel fine. But you make me feel like I'm not good enough." His shoulders slumped, and for a moment, he looked guilty. But then, his expression hardened, and he crossed his arms. "I'm only saying these things because I care, Mia. I thought you'd want to improve yourself, too." "Improve myself?" I echoed, hurt slicing through me. "Ian, I don't need to change to be worthy of love. I'm happy with who I am. Why can't you be?" He opened his mouth to respond, but whatever he was going to say died on his lips. Instead, he turned and left the room without another word. The tension between us only grew in the days that followed. I tried to brush it off, but every time I caught him glancing at me with that look, that slight frown, I felt a fresh stab of insecurity. I found myself hesitating when I reached for a second helping at dinner, or choosing salad over pasta when we went out. One night, as we sat across from each other in our living room, I finally worked up the courage to ask the question that had been gnawing at me. "Ian," I said, my voice barely more than a whisper, "are you ashamed of me?" He looked up, startled. "What? No, Mia, of course not. How could you even think that?" "Because," I said, my voice shaking, "you make me feel like I'm not enough. Like I have to change to keep you happy." He sighed, running a hand over his face. I want you to be the best version of yourself, Mia. I thought you'd appreciate my support." "Support?" I laughed bitterly. "Ian, what you're doing doesn't feel like support. It feels like judgment." "I'm just being honest," he shot back, his frustration evident. "Would you rather I lied to you?" I took a deep breath, steadying myself. "Ian, I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to love me as I am. To accept me, flaws and all." He stared at me, the silence stretching between us like a chasm. Finally, he stood up, his expression unreadable. "I need some air," he muttered, grabbing his jacket and heading for the door. As the door closed behind him, I sank into the couch, feeling the weight of his words press down on me. I'd always thought our love was unconditional, but now, I wasn't so sure. The next day, I decided to call someone I hadn't spoken to in a while, my best friend, Lena. She and I had been close since college, but life had pulled us in different directions. Still, I knew I could count on her to give me some perspective. "Hey, Mia." She answered cheerfully. "Long time no talk. What's up?" I took a deep breath, feeling a lump form in my throat. "Lena, I need to talk to you about something." "Of course," she said, her tone immediately turning serious. "What's going on?" I hesitated, then poured out the whole story, how Ian had been pushing me to lose weight, how his comments had started to eat away at my self-confidence, how I didn't know what to do. When I finished, Lena was silent for a moment. Finally, she spoke, her voice filled with warmth and reassurance. "Mia, listen to me. You're beautiful, just as you are. You've always been confident, and it sounds like Ian's the one with the problem, not you." I felt a rush of relief at her words, but a part of me still hesitated. But what if he's right? What if I could be better? "Mia," Lena said firmly, "if someone loves you, they love you as you are. Not some better version. And if he can't see that, then maybe he's the one who needs to change." Her words stayed with me long after our conversation ended. I realized that I didn't have to change myself to be worthy of love. And if Ian couldn't accept me as I was, then maybe it was time for a difficult conversation. That evening, when Ian came home, I sat him down, my heart pounding. "Ian," I said, my voice steady, "I need to know if you can accept me as I am. Because if you can't, then maybe this isn't going to work." He looked taken aback, his expression shifting from surprise to guilt. "Mia, I didn't realize it had gotten this bad." "It has," I said, my voice firm. "I love you, Ian, but I won't spend my life feeling like I'm not enough." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Mia, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I guess I got caught up in this idea of improving ourselves, and I didn't stop to think about how it was affecting you." I nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope. "I need you to accept me, Ian. Completely. Because I'm not changing for anyone but myself." He took my hand, his gaze softening. "Mia, you're right. I've been an idiot. I love you, just as you are. And if I've made you feel anything less than that, then I'm sorry." For the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of peace settle over me. Maybe it wouldn't be easy, and maybe there were still things we needed to work through, but in that moment, I knew we were taking the first step toward healing. And for the first time, I felt like I was enough.